Good morning to all of you, and thank you for joining us here. And thank you, Anita and ICTF, for giving me this opportunity to speak to you all about enterprise digital assistants. And I will, bring up my presentation shortly. Right before that, a quick introduction about myself, Veena Gudavelli, and I am, the founder and CEO of Imagia. Um, and I have about 20, 25 years of experience in order to cash side of the business. And my primary, goal with the Imagia is bringing in technology that can help order to cash leaders to take the order to cash organizations to a whole new level and get the advantage of technology. What I'll be talking to you about today is about enterprise digital assistants, and we'll walk you through various different applications of digital assistants and how you can use them go forward in your applications. So with that, let me quickly share the presentation. As I mentioned, a brief introduction about myself. Regarding Imagia, those of you who are not familiar with Imagia, Imagia is a software company. We are focused on order-to-cash automation. We've been around since over 10 years, and we have deployed our order-to-cash platforms at several shared service centers around the world. We have processed over $850 billion worth of receivables and payments through our systems. We have deployed this, across, 70 different countries, multiple different languages, over 25, about 5,000 plus users on the system. We have processed over 200 million transactions till date, and it is continuously growing and going strong. What we are, what we're doing, with, our software, again, we are bringing a whole host of providers, third-party content providers on the credit side, as well as, on the ERP side of the business, as well as on the banking side of the business. We also have, several industry affiliations, including a strong affiliation with SCTF. And we have, various partners around the globe that help on the implementations. Very quick overview of, our solution. We bring automation, analytics, and AI all together in a next generation platform. And we have a complete end-to-end integrated solution that covers credit automation, receivables, collections, deductions, cash application, cash forecasting, and the EIPP portal. And we bring in automation, we bring in insights, as well as the new generation digital assistants, which I'm going to talk about today on, what the way forward it looks like, in the order to cash operations. Our systems integrate with multiple ERP systems like SAP, Oracle, PeopleSoft, and multiple others. And in most cases, we integrate with many different ERP systems, providing one singular view of order to cash, for the order to cash teams. Coming to today's agenda, I would like to, show you what digital assistants can do for you, and what the future looks like for order to cash with the digital assistants. So we're going to walk through some case studies or some examples of applying or using digital assistants in the credit operations, in the collections operations, cash application. And then we'll look for what does it mean, applying this to order to cash operations. Why do we need to look at this, and what kind of efficiency gains we deliver with the digital assistants. So why are we talking digital assistants? As you all know, we are in the age of AI. Today, all of you, on your smartphones, as well as your home Google Assistants and Alexa and others, you're already using AI in some shape or form, and it is now entering the enterprises, and enterprise systems are now bringing digital assistants in your workplace also. And this is where, already companies are looking at, going digital. And in this particular scenario with order to cash, there are a number of companies. Recently, IDC did a survey for a number of CFOs, asking them, what they are looking for from a transformation perspective on accounts receivable, and 59% of them have responded that they are going to be putting new automation solutions, and especially including the latest components like the AI, automation, and analytics. So the wave has already started, and we are already in the wave. And this is where it's very important for all of us to understand, what are the trends and how fast they are coming, into the space, and how do we adapt ourselves. World-class companies are able to achieve about 60% of uh, benefits, in terms of 60% advantage in efficiency when they use AI, automation, and analytics. And there are, again, proven studies by industry analysts on, comparing, companies, that have done automation and the companies that have not done, automation with AI, and they're able to very categorically give the difference that, there is a significant 50 to 60% difference on the on the automation. So current state, order to cash professionals, where are we? And I like to go back, to the story of Wizard of Oz. Where Dorothy says, "I don't think we're in Kansas anymore today." That chapter is over. There is a new chapter. There is a new direction in front of us. And we all need to brace up and look at what is happening ahead of us. And that's what, this whole paradigm shift, and ICTF is, doing a wonderful job of, bringing the latest trends and what's happening in the credit and the collections inside of the business. I like to, look at what does it mean for, each of us as executives in order to cash, as well as, staff in order to cash. I like to look at the journey, right? Today, if you look at an order to cash global process leader, and I'm putting Dorothy over here, just to, just to look at, we have a whole transformation ahead of us. We got to go on this, path, and, go to the final destination. And, there are a number of different things, that we need to achieve in the process. So how do we, go in that particular direction? So today, most global process owners, credit, cash application, collections, dispute management, deductions, everyone is faced with the challenge of how can we make the operations run faster, how can we make them run better, and how can we make them agile to adapt to growth. The whole company and the front end in the sales, the business models are changing to digital. And how can order to cash keep up with digital, and how fast can we respond, is the overarching theme in each of these sub processes, and overall in the order to cash process. And this is where, again, with AI coming in, with AI, adding extra power, that's where it's important for us to understand how can we leverage that, and how can we utilize utilize AI in that particular direction. As I said, mindset is shifting, and so far, those of us who are focused primarily on, functional flows, process flows, manual, disconnected processes, being very reactive, all of that is now, getting changed to get the repetitive activities done with technology, focus on being strategic, focus on understanding what's happening with the process, focus on how you can, help the company, grow, and how you can scale. If you're able to process, 50 credit applications today, how can we process 500 credit applications? How can we process 5,000 credit applications? So the scale and the magnitude that is coming in front of us is very high. And this is where there's a mindset change that most leaders are looking at, how do we get to that? And how can we bring in the technology and the people skill set to be able to adapt to this particular change. So with that, let's get straight to the topic of digital assistants. Obviously, this is a part of artificial intelligence, and today in the artificial intelligence world, AI is being used in broadly three different categories. One is for process automation, the other is for gaining insights, and the third is conversational assistance. In today's topic, I'll focus primarily on the conversational assistance. And, if you look at, today, most of us, we get up in the morning, hey Siri, what's the weather like today? Or if you have a Google assistant, hey Google, what are the news today? Alexa, uh, one of the most, popular song request is, Uptown Funk, play the song. Um, if you want to call somebody, simply say, hey, Google, call Bob, and Google directly dials, Bob, and, connects you, to talk to him. Likewise, if you want to send an email, today you're able to simply say, hey, Siri, send an email or send a message to Chris, and this is what I want you to write, right? So you're able to give all of these commands to your everyday digital assistants that are already in your hands. You have, they're right there in your mobile phone. They're right there in your rooms with Alexa, with the Google Assistant, and with Siri. All of that is right there in your fingertips. Now, let's look at what is happening at work. We come back to work, and if we have to gather a report, or if I have to, know information about a particular customer payment, I cannot today ask, hey, what's happening, with the customer payment, right? So that was that has been the day of, yesterday. But going forward, there's a whole new world, and that's where we'll walk you through, how is life going to change with digital assistants. So first of all, consumer assistants, you're all using consumer assistants on your mobile phones and at homes. Enterprise digital assistants, what are they and what does it mean, right? Today, again, some of the companies, like Bank of America, you have, Erica. If you're a Bank of America customer, you have a mobile phone, you log into your account, you have Erica right there to assist you. You can ask Erica, you can chat with Erica saying, hey, give me, what's the balance, as of today, in my account, and Erica will tell you that. And you can do, pretty much a lot of transactions just with voice, talking to Erica. Likewise, IBM Watson is another, enterprise digital assistant, platform, where companies, take IBM Watson and, again, develop their own, customized application on top of that. You have Google Assistant, people are developing applications on that. Alexa, Capital One, for example, today, if you want to do a payment for your Capital One credit card, you can simply ask Alexa, to do the payment for you. And, it automatically, once it's set up, it automatically, takes, the payment, from your, bank account, and, and transfers that over to Capital One. just by a voice command. So like that, there are few enterprise digital assistants, that are getting popular. And of course, I'm going to talk quite a bit about Gia, the digital assistant from Imagia, which is skilled to be working closely and assisting with the credit and collections teams. So first and foremost, what are digital assistants? Digital assistants use artificial intelligence as the core technology, and um, they try to mimic, a human language, or understand human language. They try to mimic, human responses, and you can again, cater that. You can, you can develop a very focused, applications around that. But the 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 bottom line technology is artificial intelligence, where it is using, self-learning capabilities, machine learning capabilities, to be able to understand and improvise, with every interaction. Just like how, on your phone, a simple example, on your phone, when you're typing, a message, it autocorrects, or it gives you suggestions of, hey, maybe, this is the word. That is a part of artificial intelligence, that is self-learning. And digital assistants use self-learning and artificial intelligence as a core. On top of that, the key, or the one of the most important, technology that digital assistants use is natural language processing and natural language generation. They use voice, they use text, meaning, with AI, digital assistants can comprehend language. They can understand the language, they can interpret the language, and they can, they can give a response back with the language interpretation. So that's, natural language capability, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we move along. But that's one of the key aspects of digital assistance, to be able to, take text in a chat format, for example, or to be able to, take a voice command, for example, and to be able to respond. That's one of the core characteristics. And then enterprise digital assistants need to have the capability to process enterprise information. And what is enterprise information? We have information within our enterprise in multiple different, whether it's a ERP system, or it's a shipping, system, or banking, for example. There are multiple different systems. Enterprise digital assistants should have the capability to connect to these systems, to be able to, take information and, give you the information. And that's a big portion of enterprise digital assistants and how they connect into the enterprise. They should be able to have the security, just like how, within your group, one person may be able to see a business unit information of certain company. Maybe another team member, maybe only be able to see information of another business unit. So those are all security levels that you set for people. Similarly, you should be able to set up, for the digital assistants as well. So again, three main categories: underlying core artificial intelligence, voice and language skills as, one of the key component, and the third is enterprise information processing. And what I will do, again, I'll walk you through a lot more in terms of what does it mean, for credit and collections, and how do these digital assistants get these skills. So first of all, if you have a digital assistant, like a Siri, like a GM, how can you use them? First and foremost, just like how if you have a, a team member, or if you have a Siri today, how you're asking questions and getting information, you will be able to ask the digital assistant information, and the digital assistant should give the information back. So that's one of the most important things. So its main responsibility, or main application is to be able to assist the staff, to be able to assist the executives with information. That's number one. Number two, enterprise digital assistants, can be used on the front line, to give simple information to the customers. Just like Bank of America, Erica, it's in the front line, right on your mobile phone, giving you information about your account. Digital assistants can be on your customer financial portal, assisting your customers, or your credit services portal, assisting your customer. And, again, wherever the customer facing function is, they can assist the customers. And another popular use of digital assistance is doing repetitive tasks. For example, I have given an example of do the payment from do the payment for Capital One. That's a repetitive task. Every month I do the same set of activity when I have to do the payment. And so that can be automated with just a voice command saying, hey, Alexa, do the Capital One payment today, and it can take the instruction, translate that. So this is a simple repetitive activities that can be done by digital assistants. So now let's look at, why do we need digital assistants in order to cash operations? Why, and how can we use them? First and foremost, as we already talked about, for businesses, that are scaling, your order to cash processes need to scale. And that means the receivables, treasury, customer financial services functions should be able to handle a growing large number of transactions, or large number of customers, or large number of business units. And in order to scale up, you need again more people, or in this particular case, you can use some technology to be able to scale up. E-commerce, digital business models, are driving the needs to adopt technology. Because this technology is available 24/7, it's very easy to scale up your operations with this. Similarly, improving customer experience. Today's customers, they just want to go online. They just want to, go onto a mobile phone and get information 24/7. And this is where, digital assistants can make that happen. And finally, the overarching theme of run better, grow faster. Right? So that's why digital assistants, can play an important role. Now, when I looked at, bringing the topic of, how digital assistants, can come and support the credit, collections, and cash applications operations, I looked at, bringing, generic information. However, today, what we have, introduced in 2018, GIA, which is the Digital Finance Assistant, catered completely for credit, collections, and cash applications operations, seem to be having, the skills and the functionalities that no other enterprise digital assistant has out there. So I will be walking you through certain, capabilities and applications of GIA, how our customers are using, as well as how GIA can apply in multiple different scenarios. So with that, before I dive into a lot more detail, I'll give it's just about a minute video to kind of give a gist of how this is applied, and then I will dive right into unfolding, each of that use cases. So with that, let me quickly shift this over to a video.
Transform your customer financial services to the digital age with Imagia AI. Introducing Gia. Gia is an Imagia's AI-powered digital finance assistant for customer financial services. Gia transforms the way you engage your customers for billing and payments 24/7. With Gia, you can now create 100% personalized digital customer engagement. Your customer can now talk, text, or tap to interact with Gia 24/7, and Gia will help them make their payments easily. Gia learns and gets smarter with every interaction. Gia uses artificial intelligence, predictive analytics, and natural language processing to do simple to complex conversations. Number 1. Send timely bills and payment reminders. Number 2. Take promise to pay and dispute information. Number 3. Process payments immediately. Gia integrates easily with your core financial system, such as Oracle, SAP, or any other system, and transforms your customer financial services to the digital age. Power up your world. Add Gia to your customer financial services team now.
Let's look at what does that mean and how does it work. So what we're going to talk about is, how Gia can be used in your everyday operations. First use case, as I talked about, just like how you use Siri today, what's the information like, what is the weather like, or give me the directions to so and so. So today, if you're using a Oracle or a SAP or any other ERP system, or for that matter, any other collections management or credit management system, you have to go to the system to be able to find information. With Gia, you'll simply be able to ask questions. These are the example type of questions. Hey, give me a quick update of total cash received so far. It's able to pull information and give information at a at a conversational level. We got about $3 million, and it also gives a quick chart of by business unit. Here is what it is. Then I can ask some related question. Hey, how much is it in North America? And it can give some information about, hey, this is what it is in North America, and by the way, it's 56% of overall total, and it's like 17% up or down compared to last week. So more additional information. What is the total AR looking like for the company? Again, some quick pieces of information, right? All of this right there on your mobile phone or on your computer, quick pieces of information. Gia is able to simply go to multiple systems in the background, bring that information and present that information as is to you. And I want to give you a story over here. This was, again, a couple of years back, when the first time when we were rolling this out, one of our, customers, Volt Information Systems, had a long conversation with the controller over there, where it's a global operations, credit and collections are spread out across the globe, and one of the key challenges for the managers and also for the sales team or customer support supporting them, a lot of times they're asking for information, and most of the time is spent on, okay, I want to ask, I need this information. A call goes out, to a manager, and the manager gives, makes a call to, a senior, credit representative. Then somebody is in, India or Philippines or someplace, and then they need to produce the information. All of that, again, is a very lengthy process. The executive wanted, information on fingertips. I want to be able to ask for information, get the information, and I want to be able to think about what we should do differently today, or where should we focus, and I want that in a very easy manner. And that's the ask today. Most executives, most managers, most staff, if I'm a credit collections representative, I'm calling up customers, I can go into the system and pull up, three different, reports, or go into the system and, click three different ways and get the information, or I can simply use my voice. And this is what digital assistants bring for you. You can simply use the voice, ask questions, and they will give some quick information before you take action. So this is a classic example of information retrieval. How does that help you? Faster decision making. Before you go call up a customer, simply ask a few questions, and then get to calling up the customer, for example. Or Gia can even dial the customer for you, just like how Siri does the call. Saves a lot of time and cost in information gathering. Today, as I said, reporting and getting numbers is a very cumbersome process for everyone. And that's where, you get this right on your fingertips. The other is information access is there 24/7. It doesn't matter. Something is keeping you, awake at night. It's like, did that customer pay? I already promised to so-and-so. You quickly want to ask information, it gives the information. So this is, again, power at your fingertips, or power in your voice to be able to retrieve the information. Next, how do we use this for collections? So in the collections activities, today, many of our customers, are sending their reminder letters, along with Gia. And Gia simply takes the reminder letter as well as, the information. And, many times, companies do want to have some basic level of communication, or show me the outstanding invoices, show me the other invoices, or I want to pay now, or I want to pay later. And simply by, texting, or, tapping on their, phones, or their, system, they're now able to get this information. This comes back right into your collections task list, and gives you the information, what GI is able to interact. I'll give you an example of, one of the, one of the customer. It's a large mobile and laptops manufacturing company, or devices company. And this particular company, has, again, several thousands of customers. And, some of the invoices are, as little as maybe like $10, $20, because of renewals and extended renewals. And, today they are spending a lot of, time, money, energy, to be able to follow up with each of these customers. They're going with email, they're going with, again, people calling. All of that is a very expensive process. And today, with this, digital assistant, they're able to take this right into their mobile, right into their email, where simply they're able to get this information. They are able to give the information of, yes, I want to pay this now, or I want to pay this later, or I have a problem to report. And once they click on any of this option, it can, do the complete credit card processing right there if they want to pay. Or if they want to pay later, it simply asks for, when do you want to remind you, takes that information back, to the collector, saying, hey, customer is going to, look at this about a week later. Or if there is a problem, captures that particular problem and then goes back with it, right? So similarly, again, reach out to the customer on, some of these. Hey, I have a payment. I received a payment. I don't know, which invoice this is applied for. And again, GI is able to, simply, have that very quick, mobile conversation with the customer, or a very quick, email conversation with the customer, and come back. And because, GIA is continuously reading the collections management system, and currently it's able to read the Imagia receivables management system, the Oracle SAPs. It's able to take that information and very quickly present the information. And even when customer pays, for example, in this case, it's a 90,985. If the customer pays just about 17,000, for example, or says, I want to pay only 17,000, it simply gives the next level of conversation of, hey, do you have any issues with the other 2,900? Let me know. I will be happy to take this information and get you the, right attention from, our teams, right? So this is a typical conversation. And again, we are seeing more and more companies, putting this along with the collection letters. Um, what does it mean, from collections? Obviously, this is helping the collector, to have another additional, additional tool to connect to the customer. And if the customer, responds to that request to pay, obviously you're collecting the payment. If the customer responds to that, promise to pay or disputes, you're able to take that information right away. If the customer can, pay, you're able to process, the credit card payments, right away on their mobile, with Gia. So this is basically, again, adding additional tools to your receivables and collections activities that can increase your collections efficiency. So think about it, as a collector. One, you can have Gia, to simply ask information. Hey, did this customer pay yesterday, or did this customer pay last week? And you are able to get the information. You can simply ask Gia, send a letter to the customer, and Gia simply sends a letter to the customer. And Gia requests a pay to the customer. Gia is able to go, write as a message, a mobile message, as a email message, and capture all of these pieces of information. So this is, again, additional tools in your collections activities for you to take in. Think of it as, this is the next generation email. Today you have emails, that take information. This is next generation emails where digital assistants are, are part of those emails. Now, taking to the next levels, we have, we have looked at how can we make Gia relevant to, credit, collections, and cash application teams. I have earlier walked you through how in collections, Gia is, helping the collection staff and the managers. I have walked you through that. Now let me walk you through cash application. Cash application, common problem in cash application is there's a lot of information in documents, like your logbox image files, your remittance, PDF documents, your invoice documents. There are a number of different, documents out there. And one of the key problems that many cash application, teams, have talked about is it takes a long time, to take the data from these, documents and to be able to enter. And that's where, we have put our energy on how can we help, the cash application teams. So today we have Gia. We have built capabilities for Gia to not only have voice and text, but have vision. Gia can read documents. So today, if you give Gia a document such as a remittance advice, Gia is able to quickly read that particular document and able to get relevant information out of that. For example, check if you have a logbox image file which has a check and check stubs. Gia simply gives out, here is the check information, these are all the details, here is the stub information, here are all the details. And imagine the power, of getting that sort of information. You will be able to very quickly use that information to process, cash application. So again, on cash application side, this is, a simple interface, where, you can ask Gia, hey, it says, hey, Gia, your digital assistant, and I can read and extract any of this. Let me know which one you want to help with. And you simply upload whatever the document that you want Gia to process, and it will simply extract and give both by voice as well as on the screen. Here is the extracted information, and you can look at the information. You can correct the information if it is wrong, and the next time obviously the information gets processed. So again, this is this particular functionality with the enterprise digital assistants is a very powerful functionality, and it can save a lot of time as well as a lot of bank fees. When you're doing again lockbox bank files. Today, GI is able to read Bank of America lockbox files. GI is able to read JPMC lockbox files, their statements, a number of different banks, Post, in other countries as well, like Post and Nordic countries, multiple different languages, remittance advisors in multiple different languages. So this is, again, reading capability that a digital assistant can bring for you. Another way that you can use, again, digital assistant in cash application is to simply send a letter to the customer. For example, you received a payment, but you don't know where to apply this payment because there's not enough information on the payment advice or on the check. And you can simply ask Gia to go collect this information from the customer. And an email goes out to the customer, or a mobile message goes out to the customer saying, hey, we've received so-and-so payment, and, we're looking for where, invoices to apply this for. Can you give me the numbers? And again, adds this as a additional assistance, to the cash application process. So this is one way of using cash application. Again, on the credit side, similar kind of capabilities on the credit, being a customer service agent, to be able to give, what is the status on a credit application, or we have built capabilities around gathering information for credit. For example, in credit, one of the biggest issue in credit is gathering information, whether it is from credit bureaus or whether it is, checking, valid business licenses or other areas. So we have developed, skills for GIA to be able to, bring a DNB report, from the DNB system and present it right for you. Or, you can simply ask, hey, what is the paid score for so-and-so customer? It goes, accesses the DNB system and presents that right to you. Or if you want to ask, hey, check the business, business license, for so-and-so company in California. It can go to the California state government website, gather that information, come back to you saying, hey, this is what it is, right? So capabilities that can bring you information right on your fingertips, and also bring your customer information right to their fingertips. That's what we're talking about here with digital assistants. And again, wherever you have, customer financial services, you can engage GIA as your frontline representative or a frontline, information. Instead of simply having a portal, you can have an interactive portal with a digital assistant, just like how Bank of America has Erica out there.
Thank you, Veena. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for attending this session.
Thank you.